So there are a ton of legal topics when it comes to the fashion industry. We're talking about intellectual property today and influencer marketing, but there are so many other things that we just don't have the time to talk about. How do I protect my designs? Unfortunately, when it comes to fashion, there isn't a whole lot that you can do because fashion is essentially functional. The function is to keep you warm and from walking around naked, so it's essentially functional. And the law doesn't allow protection, but there are some ways you can get certain protections. So we'll talk about that. So trademark is any word, phrase, symbol, design, or feature which identifies a goods or services, right? So this could be your brand name, your logo, you could have a catchphrase, anything like that, so that when they see that, they associate that symbol, design, brand name with you. So when we're talking about protection for brand names, right, we have this continuum. So it's generic, which is essentially a common name for a product, right? So if you had an apple, you can't name it, you can't get a registered trademark for Apple because it's an apple. It's exactly what the product is. It's a common name for a product. And then the strongest, way to protect your brand is if you come up with something that's totally, unrelated to the product itself, or a totally made up word with no significance. We see Kodak, I don't know what that is, but for film, Apple, right? You couldn't register for an Apple, but if you're talking about electronics, phones, computers, Apple has no relation to the computer. Of course, that has one of the strongest trademarks in the world. So in the US, if you're using your mark in interstate commerce, you automatically have rights in that mark. Then you can go ahead, if you choose to register that mark, usually what we'll do a federal registration with the US PTO, the US Patent and Trade Office. And trade dress is essentially, again, like a trademark, which identifies the source of the good. And it's the overall feel of products, packaging, or design. It can include a multitude of factors: size, shape, color, texture. It has to be non-functional and distinctive. What copyright law does is it protects original works of authorship fixed in a tangible medium. So what does that mean? Right, so the work has to be original, and it has to be in some sort of, fixed format. When we're talking about fashion, we usually are talking about some sort of original print or a photograph, or the Copyright Office also will allow you to get registrations for jewelry because they look at it as little sculptures of art. And we highly recommend getting trademark protection, especially in your brand name, your logo. Copyright protection. Copyright protection is very inexpensive to get. Patent protection, again, if you can get it, highly recommend doing it. Now influencer marketing is everything. I mean, major brands, and not only just in fashion, but pretty much every industry, pharma, auto, consumer product goods, is using influencer marketing. It's a great way to reach your target consumers, whether it's through big influencers such as the Kylie Jenners or the Kardashians of the world, or using micro influencers that are more targeted to the people that you want to reach.